I'm Reverend Dr. Chris Gobrecht, and I'm here to address the Charge Conference on the question that has been given to us, a challenge. In what ways has the past 17 months changed the shape and direction of your church's ministry? And then follow-up is how will those changes carry you into the future? First off, I would like to commend Timonium United Methodist Church for its ability to keep up with the changes. There has been a lot of change. I think there's any churches that haven't seen a lot of change throughout all of this. But that Timonium has gotten rallied behind these changes and allowed them to go forward without conflict is, I think, a testimony to their commitment to the kingdom of God. I'd like to talk about two particular ways in which we've had to meet this challenge. The first is through our video ministry, and it goes through YouTube and Facebook and our website and so forth. We have more than 100 countries that have in some way made some kind of connection by people connecting to our messaging and trying to in some way engage with us. Now, of course, this level of engagement is going to be much less than if you were someone who came every week and sat in the pews and got involved in things. But we have become an international ministry. Essentially, that is something that I had never envisioned pre-pandemic and didn't really even envision as we began to do that work of putting out messages, several times a week and doing all that would create the platform on which this international ministry could be built. I did not realize that's where we were going, but that is where God has brought us. And so our footprint in the world is much larger than it ever was before, and much larger than I think most of us imagined that it could be by putting our messaging out there, by having several different people that do messages every week, so that we can make connections and bring light into the lives of those here in Timonium and around the world. The second ministry, which came about because of the pandemic, is the feeding ministry that we do in combination with Calvary Morning Light, a non-denominational church. Now, we've had a feeding ministry here for decades, and that feeding ministry has been an important part of our community, but it has exponentially grown in this connection with another church, and they lost their space, and of course they had started this ministry after the pandemic started because they were trying to meet the needs of people who were suffering because of the pandemic. And so when we saw this opportunity, we grabbed it, and now we have this great partnership where we can feed 100 families in every week. And I'm very proud of the way in which we've been able to engage this community. And it's a diverse community that comes in. I would say more than half Hispanic that comes, but people from all ethnic groups and ages are coming to this ministry. So it is really an outreach that shows what the Methodist Church is really all about. Our love for everyone, regardless of race, color, creed, all those kinds of things, is embracing as a wider family our community. And so these two ways in which we have been challenged by the pandemic and have risen to that challenge are part of what it means to be Timonium United Methodist Church going into the future. Into the future, we're going to keep up with the videos and the sermons and all the ways in which we try to connect to people here in our church and around the world. We're going to keep that up. It is too valuable ministry to lose, even if the pandemic should end and our church should be full again, which I'm not sure if that's what happens or what happens, but either way, we're going to continue to have this robust ministry that will be international and will continue to be so. And we're going to keep that feeding ministry as long as we possibly can and to continue to try to find ways that connect to our community. And during the pandemic, some of the ministries that we had have withered because, there just isn't the possibility to meet together and to do the kinds of things that we once did. But there's plenty of new opportunities out there. And so going forward, what we need to do is find the places where God is leading us, where opportunities are available, where there are people who need us, and then to make those connections and to live out our call as servants of Jesus Christ.